All right, everybody here in Hartland today, playing them again tomorrow too at home. Getting ready to get started here in a minute. So this view is not the greatest. If I try to go up higher, then we kind of lose this close corner here. Even at this height, you still can't see the very edge of the corner. So do what we can. All right, we're gonna start out with Trago in net. We're gonna have Albert and Jace Albert and Luke Wolf back at D. Up front, we'll have Holden Gentner at center, Hudson Strovey left wing, and Cam Cones at right wing.
Go, TC.
Face-off win from Hartland. We've got Toledo in black and red, Hartland in white and black. And nice pass up to Cones. And Cones shoots it from wide and no rebound on that. All right. We've got Bomer and Hubbard in at D, Russo at right wing, Luke's at left wing, Myers at center. Bomer keeps it in the blue line, dumps it deep. We got Bomer back with it, and collision there with Hartland's players. Trago covers, and they call that a goal. I think he had it covered and may have slid in under his leg pad or glove. I'm not sure. All right, we got 0-1 here with 14 minutes left in the first. All right, we're going to bring in Clausen at left wing. We'll have Luke Chansky at right wing and Signs at center. We'll have Albert and Wolf back at D. All right, Signs comes up with it. He's going to gain the zone. Wolf's going to keep it in and gets it down into the corner. And puck's still in and comes out. Hartland has it in this corner here. Like I said, can't see it too well. They keep it in at the blue line and take it to the center. And puck's out of the zone. We'll get 2 change out. Still Albert and Wolf back at D. Up front now, we've got Bokevich, Gentner, and Cones. Nice save there by Trago. All right. Toledo gets it deep. Cone Gentner will pursue. We get our D change out. We've got Bomer and Hubbard in at D. Still battling down low. Quick shot. Goes off the side of the net. Cones has it down low. Centers to Gentner. And Hartland will get it out, and that's going to be an icing. All right, I'm going to reposition my camera here. Hang on a sec, guys. All right, that's better. We'll keep Bomer and Hubbard in at D. We've got Lukes, Myers, and Cherokee up front. I'm going to move down a step here. I don't know. I don't like this view. There we go. That's better. All right. Pucks up to Lukes. He's going to skate it in. Centers. Oh, man. Almost made it through to Myers. We've got Albert and Wolf back at D. Out of the zone, over to Wolf, hits it up the board for Lukevich, and we've got Russo in now at forward, Signs in, and Lukevich. Still Wolf and Albert back at D. Albert kind of went down awkwardly into the boards. He's going to go off. Bomer goes back to Wolf, and Wolf hits it up and out. Puck's down in the corner, and can't see much right now. All right. Lukevich will pass it up to Clausen. Clausen's going to skate it in and get it deep. Luchansky comes in, and a little bit of contact there, no call. Hubbard and Albert are back at D now. And we're going to have Luchansky skated up and out. Couple moves there from Hartland player, and quick backhand shot. Trago saves it. Right. Albert has it, passes up, and puck's at least out of the zone. We might get a break here. Nice little kick pass there from Hartland. Got Bomer and Wolf back at D. Wolf hits it up off the glass and into the zone. Got Cherokee, Cones, Myers up front right now. Bomer and Hubbard back at D. And Trago saves that. All right, we'll have Cherokee, Myers, and Cones up front. Bomer and Hubbard back at D. Nice stick there. Cones is going to skate it up and brings it in with speed. We've got Wolf and Albert back in at D right now. That's offsides. All right, we'll keep Wolf and Albert at D. Luke, Signs, and he's on the far side. Russo up front. Russo dumps it deep. Science comes up with it, gets it back to the blue line to Albert. Albert's going to dump it back in and hits off a stick and up and out of the zone. That's going to be a icing. All right, we'll have Bomer and Hubbard back to D, Gentner at center, Luchansky and Volkevich up front. Stump down deep. Bomer will get there first and hit it into the corner.
I don't think Ben's here. He brought Ben. I don't think he's here.
Bomer goes behind the net and hits it up the boards. Still not a great view of that corner, but that's the best we're going to get. So, all right, Hubbard passes up to Volkevich. Volkevich up to Luchansky. Volkevich will go off. Chansey gets a nice shot. Stick save there from the goalie. We've got Gentner, Luchansky, Sorovi up front. Albert and Wolf back at D. Puck's going to come back to Wolf. Shot. And goes wide. And Luchansky gets it back to Albert. Quick shot. Blocked off a skate. Rebound over to Luchansky. Gets a quick rebound. Goes just wide of the net. And shot from Sorovi off the side of the net. Puck's out of the zone. Albert will go back with it. And passes up to Myers. Nice little touch pass to Luchansky. And we've got Bomer and Hubbard back in at D. All right, Myers is going to skate it up and dumps it in. We're going to have Cones up front, Russo up front, and Signs up front. And centering pass from Hubbard up to Cones. Shot goes high. Back to Bomer, up the boards. And up the Signs and Russo. Russo flings it up the boards. Ooh, almost too many men. They decide not to play it, which is fine. They wave off icing though because of that. And nice pinch there from Wolf. Clausen has it just out of his reach. That's a goal. All right, 0-2. And a quick pass there to the center. All right, we've got about 3.5 minutes left to play in the first. All All right, we will bring in Bomer and Hubbard back at D. We've got Luke, Wilkevich, Gentner up front. Bomer's got it. And nice pass up to Gentner. Hubbard passes up. Wilkevich will pursue. Nice glove there for Trego.
Try stretch it. Just try stretch it a little.
All right, we'll have Wolf and Albert back at D. Sarovi, Cones, Myers up front. Cone's going to come up with it, passes to Sarovi just out of his reach. Cones dumps it deep. Sarovi will go into the corner. Back to Myers. Centered. Oh. Nice stick there from Wolf. All right, we'll bring in Bomer and Hubbard at D. We've got Luchansky, Russo, and Signs up front. And Trego will cover. All right, we'll have Russo up front, Signs up front. I can't see the other forward from here. Hubbard and Bomer back at D. Looks like Luchansky's the other forward. Russo's down in the corner with it. All right, Signs makes a move. He's going to skate it in. Another move. Shot. That's a goal. All right, 1-2. We got less than a minute left to go here in the first. All right, we'll have Wolf and Albert back at D. Luke's, Gentner, Clausen up front. Get it out of the zone, boys, if you can. All right, up to D. Shot. Gets blocked. We might get a 2-on-1 here. Oh, just couldn't quite get it out. puck's out of the zone. That'll be it for the first. Scores 1-2. All right, start of the second period. We'll have George Bomer, Jack Hubbard back at D, Weston Trego still in net, Hudson Sorovi and Cam Cones at wing with Jack Myers at center. Myers comes up with it and gets it deep into the corner. That's a shot and a goal. 1-3 game. Hartland there kind of threaded the defenseman and had a nice shot right in between the circles. Those are always high yield shots when... Oops, sorry about that. All right, we are going to bring in Wolf and Albert back at D, Russo, Signs, and Luke's up front. Alright, that goes deep. No icing. Wolf has it, hits it around the boards. Nice little poke there from Luke to get it past Hartland. And Signs has it, skates it in. He's got Russo going to the goalie. Nice move. Russo's got a chance, hits the post. And that's going to be an icing. All right, Bomer and Hubbard back at D. Wilkevich at left wing. Gentner at center. Who's at right wing? Luchansky's at right wing. We got a penalty coming up. Could not see what happened from this angle. See, who are they taking? They're coming down to our end, so it must have been... It's like Gentner's going to the box. All right, we'll be on the penalty kill here. Next minute and a half, we're going to keep Bomer and Hubbard back at D. We'll have Wilkevich and Luchansky up front. Hubbard's got it. He's going to try to get it up the boards. Got it over to Bomer. Bomer pokes it over towards Hubbard's side, and we got pucks back to Hubbard. Could use a change here. Boys have been out the whole power play. Oh. All right, Trago covers. All right, penalty is over. We'll be back to 5-on-5. Nice work from the penalty kill unit there. We'll bring in Myers at center, Sarovi at wing, Cones at wing, Albert and Wolf back at D. Cones hits it up to Myers, and no icing on that. Puck's kind of tied up along the far side boards over there. And it pops loose, back to Wolf. Myers around up to Sarovi. Albert has it. Ice it. There you go. Nothing wrong with that. You can tell they were tired. We got fresh legs out there. We'll have Bomer and Hubbard back at D. Luke's at wing. Clausen at wing. Signs at center. Alright. Out of the zone. Nice stick there from Bomer. And Signs comes up with it. Back to Hubbard, just kind of dumps it down deep. Got a 2-on-1 develop with Bomer. Luke's will ice it again, and we'll get fresh legs out again. Kind of been on our heels here the last couple shifts. All right, we'll bring out Bomer and, or not Bomer, Albert and Wolf back at D, Gentner, Russo, Wilkevich up front. Hartland's ready for our breakout scheme. I mean, pretty much every time we go to break out to our winger along the board, they've got a guy there. Nice save there from Trago. All right, pucks out of the zone. Nice pressure there from Wojciech. Passes to Russo. We've got Wolf and Hubbard back at D. Wolf keeps it in the blue line. Quick shot into the corner. Wolf goes off. Bomer comes on. Nice pressure from Toledo this shift here. Hubbard's back with it. This is up to Cones. We've got Serovy, Cones, Gentner up front. Gentner's going to go off, and Myers comes on. All right, puck's going to come back to Bomer at the blue line. Sends it to the net. Deflects wide. All right, goalie covers. That's a better shift. All right, we are gonna keep Bomer and Hubbard out. We'll have Myers, Cones, Serovy up front. Puck's back to Bomer. Gonna dump it down deep. Puck's into the zone. We're going to have Serovy and Myers go off. We've got Wolf and Hubbard back at D. Hubbard keeps it in the blue line. Hits a few legs. All right, we've got Russo, Signs, and Cones going off. Luke's comes on. All right, Signs picks it up. He's got Luke's to his right. Quick shot low, no rebound. Right idea, no pass open. Not a great angle shot, so shoot it low, hope for the rebound off the pass. Oh, wait, that went in. That did go in. All right. I thought the goalie had it, but that's a goal. I don't think the parents realized either. All right, 2-3. All right, we'll have Albert and Wolf back at D. Russo, Luke, Signs up front.
Cross the head.
All right, Russo's got it. Offsides. All right, we'll bring on Hubbard and Bomer. D. Up front, we'll have Luchansky, Wojciech, Gentner. Staying warm enough?
Eric's got a big gulp, huh?
About to.
It's cold, gentlemen. This is a cold drink, gentlemen.
All right. Hubbard dumps it deep. Puck's going to bounce out to Bomer. Quick shot. Go off the goalie. It's loose. It's loose. It's still loose. And no goal. No goal on that. All right.
That might make it to the video feed.
All right. Hartland dumps. Bomer's back with it. And Luchansky scoots it up. And there's a check. They'll call that. We've got... all right. Wait, that goes in. They're saying that's in. That's a goal. All right, 3-3. They'll negate the penalty. Kind of a shot, kind of flung up in the air, and I think it passed the goalie. They're kind of deciding if it hit Hartland's stick first, or... I mean, technically you got to have possession for that penalty to get scored. So that's a goal. Yeah, 3-3. I think refs are kind of giving clarity to the coaches right now, but
Watch my kid play.
the flex off a stick and there's no actual possession. It's still a live puck until the team that's got the penalty touches it. So, all right, we're gonna have Sorovi, Myers, Cones up front. We've got Albert and Wolf back at D. I don't know who got that goal, in all honesty. I don't know who shot it. All right, Myers picks it up, makes a move through the center. Drops it to Albert. Ooh, risky move. That's offsides. All right, we're going to change out our forwards. We've got Signs, Lukes, Russo up front. We're going to keep Wolf and Albert back at D. Signs passes up and kind of threads the needle. No one touched it. That's icing. All right, we've got Bomer and Hubbard, and at D we've got Lukes, Russo, and Gentner up front. Bomer's back with it. Nice Hubbard. Makes another move. Looks for an outlet pass. They're covering our... Yeah. At least our normal play with the outlet pass along the board does not work in this game. To look, have our center kind of cut up center ice and look for the outlet pass there, maybe. I don't know. Oh, man. All right, Luchansky skates it out. He's going to get it deep. We're going to have Lukes go off, Gentner go off. We've got Wolf and Albert back at D. Out the guy in the front. Right, Albert up to Wokevich. All right, Luchansky has it. Skates it in. We got about 2.5 minutes left to go in the second. We got a 3-3 game. We got Albert and Hubbard in at D right now. Albert's getting ready to go off if we can keep it deep. Yep. All right, Bomer comes on. Still Luchansky, Wokevich up front. Puck's tied up in the corner, can't really see it. And they're going to blow a whistle for that and have a face-off down low. All right, we'll get Cones, Serovi, Luke's up front. Nope. Cones goes off. Myers comes on with Hubbard and Bomer back at D.
I thought if you dressed up as a monster game tonight. I was like, what's in it if you dress up?
You look like a clown.
We got a penalty. I don't know if they're calling a slash or a hook, or they call a slash on Bomer, it looks like. All right, we'll be on the penalty kill here. Or did they call high stick maybe? One of the two. All right, let's see. We're going to have Wolf and Albert back at D, Signs and Myers up front.
You have a chance. It's yours.
All right, puck's dumped down, which is fine. We'll get an icing. Face-off win from Hartland. Puck's out of the zone. No icing. We get Albert off. Hubbard comes on. Play from Wolf there, up off the glass. Nice bounce to the center, and puck's out. About 30 seconds left to go on the penalty kill. Roman has it, flips it up center ice. Uh-oh. Nice block there from Myers. Flips it up.
Go, Jack.
That'll be an icing. All right, we'll have 26 seconds left in the period here. We'll have Bomer and Albert back at D. Gentner, Luke, Serovi up front. That's offsides.
Like those pieces.
2. Scores tied 3-3. All right, start of the third here. We're going to start with Jack Hubbard, Luke Wolf back at D, Thomas Olkevich at right wing, Brighton Russo at left wing, and Cam Cones at center. All right, Olkevich has it, gets it up out of the zone. Wolf has it and dumps it deep. We'll go for a change. Cones pressures. We've got Lukes and Luchansky up front now. Albert and Bomer back at D. We got Signs in now as well.
Get up there!
Albert dumps it in again. Running into each other. Bomer's got it. Goes back to Albert. Luke's dumps it deep. We'll have Signs and Luchansky pressure. Sorobi is the other forward. And Wolf and Hubbard in at D right now. Signs has it. Quick shot. Back to Hubbard, looks for a pass. Wolf skates it in. Nice shot from Cones, goes just wide. That's icing. All right, Bomer and Albert back at D. Wilkevich, Myers, Russo up front.
Can't argue with the statistics. Me too.
Nice save from Trago. Puck still loose. Hartland has it in the corner. That goes in. Yeah. Might have, I don't know if that ricocheted off of Bomer's stick or what happened there. All right, 3-4 game.
Go Weston!
All right, Luke signs Luchansky up front. Wolf and Hubbard back at D. That's offsides. All right. We will have Bomer and Albert back at D. Gentner at center. Sorovi at right wing. Clausen at left wing. Bomer dumps it deep. Bomer's got it. He's going to skate him and dumps it deep. We got Bomer off, Wolf on, Albert still at D. Russo's up front. We've got Wokevich and Cones up front. And Wolf will dump it deep. Oh, that's it. Oh, is that in? Uh-oh. Uh-oh. I don't know. Did they call it a goal? I think so. All right. That's a goal from Russo, I believe. 4-4. We're going to keep Wolf and Albert out. We'll have Lukes, Myers, Sorovi up front. Pucks back to Albert, over to Wolf. Shoot it, Wolfie, shoot it. Oh man, that was close from this angle. That was 2 inches off. That was close. Get off. Sorry, I was distracted by They're going to call too many men. I think. Oh, never mind. Too many. I thought they were going to call it against us, but it looks like against Hartland. Hooking penalty is what they called. All right, we'll have Bomer and Hubbard back at D. We'll have Signs, Russo, Luchansky up front. Bomer's got it. Makes a move, cuts back to Luchansky. And over to Russo. A ton of snow over along the boards over there. All right, we've got our defensemen changed. We've got Albert and Wolf in at D. Roman's got it behind the net, working with it. Oh, still loose. Oh, it's all right. He got it covered. All right. Clock's still running. Clock.
Let's go, TC.
They should probably put about 5 more seconds on, but I don't think they're going to. That's the advantage, a home field advantage, I guess, is you got your own scorekeeper running the clock and can burn off time on the penalty there. They kind of made up for it there. They didn't start it right away. So, all right, Wolf and Albert back at D. Gentner, Rokevich, Cones up front. Back to Wolf, shot, and goalie covers. All right, we're going to bring in Bomer and Hubbard at D. We'll keep the same forwards.
Let's go, guys.
Gentner wins it to Bomer. Bomer over to Hubbard. Hubbard shot. Goes just wide. Back to 5-on-5. Combs brings it in the zone. Bomer's got it. Offside. All right, Myers, Luke, Sorovi up front, Wolf and Albert back at D. We've got Harrison and net, it looks like. I don't know when that change happened, but... All right. Sorovi goes down. No call on that. We've got Bomer and Hubbard and at D right now. Got Russo coming in as a forward. Myers skating off. Let's get it back to the D. Cycle back. Nice pass from Luke's to Roman, and goal from Signs there. Nice kind of diving pass there from Nixon. And all right, 5-4 game. I think that's a hat trick for Roman. Really nice pass there from Nixon. He was tired, last minute effort there to kind of dive out and try to get the pass over. All right, we'll have Bomer and Hubbard back at D, Signs, Luchansky, Russo up front. Luchansky gets it in the zone, but Russo's shot goes just wide. Save there from Harris. All right, we've got Wolf and Albert back at D. We've got Gentner at center, Cones, and Wukevich. Hartland's bringing the pressure this shift. Up to Wolf. All right, puck's out of the zone. We got our D changed out at least. We've got Bomer and Hubbard in at D. And we've got a penalty, I think, coming against Hartland. Couldn't see what. All right, they're going to pull Bomer off. Wolf goes on. We'll have Myers, Sorovi, and Luke's up front. Back to Wolf. Back to Myers. Shot blocked. Back to Myers. Over to Luke's in the corner. Reverses to Sorovi and up to Wolf and out of the zone. Luke's got it, pass to Luke, and goalie stops it. All right, we're gonna change out two of our forwards. Luke stays on, and we'll bring on Russo and Signs. Signs has it. Shot off the side of the goalie. might get a breakaway here. Nice save from Harris. All right, minute 50 left. Hartland down by 1. They're going to keep their goalie in for now. We have Bomer and Albert back at D. We'll have Signs at center. Russo at wing. Can't see the other wing. Luchansky's the other wing. There you go. Signs are skated in. Any pressure now is good. Just to keep Hartland's goalie in so that they can't pull him. All right, Hartland has their goalie out. The extra skater's in. Harris covers that. Well, the puck popped out, but whistle already went. All right, we'll keep Hartland will keep their goalie out, so it's 6-on-5 right now. We are gonna have Hubbard and I think Wolf at D. We've got Luke's at wing. Signs at Gentner at center. Nice save from Harris, and that's all right. We'll take the icing. All right, we'll keep Gentner, Luke's, and Sorovi up front. Still Wolf and looks like Hubbard out at D. Wolf has it. Hits it up the boards. Oh, centering attempt. Hartland had someone there, but all right, that'll be an icing. And change our forwards out. Keep our D in. All right, so still Hubbard and Wolf back at D. Cones up front. Who else we got? Cones looks like Myers and Signs, it looks like. Oh man, that almost made it through to Harris, and get a chance out. That got touched. That touched. Oh, I think everybody heard that got touched. Ref didn't see it or hear it, one of the two, but that should not have been an icing. Oh, 100% he touched that. All right. Keep, looks like Signs. Who else? We got Cones, Myers up front. And that's going to be, nope, that's a goal. 1 second left. That's a goal. Should have never happened. That was not an icing.
She held it.
What's that?
I have 0.
Oh, I don't know. Also question if that clock actually started at the right time. A few of the parents said the clock didn't start for 2 or 3 seconds after that puck drop. So, all right. Either way, come out with a tie. Never want to kind of leave it down to one goal. So whether it's lots of different variables play into it in terms of work effort, sometimes officiating, all that stuff, but always focus on the work effort and working harder and trying to win games by 2, 3, 4 goals instead of leaving it up to 1-goal games that you can allow other factors to affect the final score. So, all right, done today. We play again tomorrow. I think 1:30 against Hartland again. So we'll see you guys then.